SANTHE postdoc. Then I was selected to start a postdoc journey at ARI in Durban. Then I moved to Durban, engaging a lot with Tumbi. So that's how Tumbi encouraged me to apply for a collaborative grant. Then I've applied for a SANTHE collaborative grant, and then we were successful. We got that, and then I started then the work in Durban, and I could hire a student from Cameroon who traveled to Durban to start to also do some of the lab work. And then SANTHE opened another option, which was SANTHE Path to Independence. I really want to go back to my country to set my own goal, and they said, well, there's this opportunity that you can use to go back to your country. Then I applied for SANTHE Path to Independence scheme, and I was also among the first selected scientists. Then I used the money to come back to Cameroon and settle here. Contacted other key researchers from other institutions here in Yaoundé, and then they all agree, and then I brought all that to SANTHE. So much so that today SANTHE Cameroon side is about 4 different institutions, and then the impact is really huge.
I have a PhD candidate who is funded through SANTHE. I have a postdoc who is also funded through SANTHE, and I also have an early career fellow who is also funded through SANTHE. So SANTHE has really come in to help me in growing. My goal of growing and mentoring the young ones. And secondly, SANTHE brought in this program of leadership training. All these things that were challenging me in leadership, I think, have been addressed through this program.
SANTHE has been very instrumental in my career. First of all, when I started my postdoc at Harvard, I wanted to establish this cohort of adolescents, and we got the first collaborative grant, which really was important in helping me set up these assays in Boston, set up the cohort, and then later in life, when I got back to Botswana, I got the SANTHE Path to Independence, and that has been very instrumental in helping me progress in my path to becoming an independent scientist, and that helped me build my confidence in being a leader of tomorrow.
I have started looking for a mentor, and thanks for this training, for this SANTHE leadership training, because we raised out the challenge, and we suggested to if SANTHE can maybe have a list of people that are available that can play that role. I got my first, I can say my first bigger grant. The main aim of the grant is to study the drug resistance in children.
SANTHE has provided a platform for me to be able to diversify and to have my voice to be heard around the African continent, and also an opportunity to network and interact with other scientists that are within my area or discipline of work, or even those that are outside, and provided opportunities for me to interlink with them, form collaborations and work together, and also training. Like, I'm currently on a scientific leadership program that I would not have had an opportunity to do anywhere else, and I've been equipped and empowered with skills that I'm hoping to take back with me, and also to raise a young generation of scientists that I can be a good mentor to them, pass on knowledge and skills, and really, I'm really excited. I've also got a postdoc coming up from the SANTHE program.
Currently, I hold the Path to Independence Award for SANTHE, which is an award that enables me to kind of be an independent researcher, form my own group, do my own thinking, and follow up my work. So that's been great, because previously we've always worked in groups. With this award now, I have a group that I formed. We've done some work. We intend to write more grants with this group and continue working. So it's given me the first steps into being an independent investigator.
Actually, I had some discussion or some thought I had to.
With the help of SANTHE, we're trying to build our our lab with acceptable equipment. We'll never be like US or South Africa, but at least we have something to start with, so that when we collaborating or we're discussing with other scientists around the world, at least we can bring our contribution. Because unfortunately, we are where the patients are.
SANTHE have really helped to propel me to where I am. It funded my postdoc. It has been given me training, a lot of training opportunities, a lot of traveling, going to conferences, and it has also given me some funds, a grant on public engagement, which was my very first time to do a community engagement, thanks to SANTHE, and I loved it. It was one part which I was not aware of. As a scientist, I've just been dealing with being in the lab and not interacting with the community, and it opened my eyes, and I realized how important it is to also communicate with the community on what you are doing, and also hear what the community would like to see solved in that field. It has also given me another grant on a path to independence, where I'm continuing with hepatitis work, now trying to find out what are the differences in people which makes them to respond differently to hepatitis B virus.
SANTHE, besides providing the money, they have created a good working environment. I think I have felt supported. I think that's very good as a researcher, when you feel you have the support. And not only the monetary aspect of my work, but the training. I think they've availed a lot of training to help us progress in our research, and providing a very good network. I'm still the only molecular immunologist there, but I don't feel alone, because I have this vast network of individuals that I can ask, I can work with. People are just either a WhatsApp away, a phone call away, or an email away.
I think one of the biggest challenges that we face as researchers is funding. And this challenge cuts across researchers in Africa and also researchers in the global north, especially for emerging researchers where you have not established a reputation in the field. You need to convince funders to give you money to achieve these big dreams that you have, and that is a challenge. But the beautiful thing about being in a network like SANTHE is that you have mentors that can guide you and also vouch for you. And I think at every stage you need to identify grants that are equitable to the skill set that we have.
SANTHE is actually a training ground where it can actually help fellows to move ahead. They can actually give you a lot of resources which you will be able to use to step forward in terms of your leadership.
SANTHE's been, it's been amazing. I managed to get a SANTHE fellowship last year. So I managed to get a grant, and this allowed me to do work in the United States. So I managed to go to Colorado State University, and this was very exciting because it was a collaboration that I'd initiated through a conference that I attended in Paris, and then that collaboration actually came to fruition through SANTHE, through a SANTHE grant. Experience or was exposed to new technology, which we have now actually transferred to RE, establishing this technology in South Africa, and it's actually the first in Africa. It's called a Site Assist instrument, and it allows us to do spatial transcriptomics. It's based on traditional microscopy, but instead of just doing traditional staining for microscopy, you can actually look at the transcripts that each cell is expressing.
SANTHE helped more my students. So one of the students who is collaborating with the Germans, so she could not finish her work because of COVID. She registered in 2020, so we could not collect the samples. So but the Germans, their fellowship, if we say 3 years, it's just 3 years. So we try to argue, okay, the student could not continue, we could not go to the clinic, and they said, no. So that's why I try to look for SANTHE to assist that student of mine to finish his studies. So I'm very grateful they did that. They gave her 1 year, so she's finished. It's also my first time. I'm relatively new, also attending this leadership course. My research group, we are about 20. But I was leading from my natural, because I have never been trained.
Firstly, I co-supervised 2 SANTHE PhD fellows. So I think that has given me an opportunity to develop my academic and research career in terms of being able to supervise students. Also, I've received quite a lot of funding from SANTHE. In 2003, that I received a data science award. This award funded my travel to a collaborators lab in New York, where I was trained on some bioinformatics tools. And this actually helps us analyze these large sequence data sets that we generate. So we are now able to do that independently.
Our work is at the cutting edge of discovery, and not very many sites across the continent in Africa actually do this kind of intensive, detailed work on, especially on respiratory viruses. For instance, during the COVID pandemic, everybody now has almost stopped testing, stopped monitoring COVID, but we are still doing this work. And I'm very excited about the fact that we are still seeing new data informing about potential interventions, but also the team I'm leading has a lot of capacity building inbuilt in there. So when I see young researchers coming into the team and growing in their scientific knowledge and capabilities and getting their masters, their PhDs, others proceeding to their postdoc opportunities, I get very happy and very satisfied that actually I'm contributing.
SANTHE has been such an amazing ecosystem. Incubated us to be able to drive scientific excellence, to help us translate our ideas that when implemented allowed us to access even bigger grants. My biggest success in the past 5 years is to translate pathogen genomics to pandemic preparedness, and the highlight was our first discovery of the Omicron variant of SARS-CoV-2 in our lab, and that changed public health in a transformative way.
I think what's been so fantastic to see over the last 10 years with SANTHE is how many emerging leaders have come out of SANTHE, and these are people who really are achieving great things scientifically, but are also bringing in their own grants. They're getting recognition at a national and international level. They're getting invited to major meetings, and to me that's been the highlight of everything that we've done. And to see that continue and grow and expand from 25 to 50 to 100 is what we really need to focus our funds towards doing. And I think what's great about it, it hasn't been located at one specific site. Across all our sites we've seen emerging leaders develop and take on major leadership roles, and I think that's something that I think has been very encouraging and rewarding to see. And also they're now independent, or some of them may not be completely at that stage, but they're working towards it. And I think showing how we've leveraged the investments that we've got and supporting that idea of a sustainable future has been exceptionally a rewarding part of being part of SANTHE.